Hello, this is Liz. Welcome to my little urban homestead and welcome to Fabric Friday. This is those templates for a 5-point star. So, this is what I'm going to do with it. It's a 5-point star. So I've got one fabric here and I'm just going to cut out 5 of these stars and cut out the rest of them as well. And then I'll come back to you. I have cut out the pieces that I want for my 5-point star. As you can see, they are the shape required. Now, there's no way I can mark, let me just put that there. There's no way I can mark through this template where my 1/4 inch seam points are. So they're a bit on the more difficult side. So what I've got here is one of my airy raise pens, and basically I'm going to draw a line 1/4 inch. I know I don't need it in the middle, so it'll go there and there. And yes, this is a new pen, so it's quite showing. And where it crosses, that's going to be my 1/4 inch seam. Well, seam allowance. That's a 1/4 inch away from where I need to start and stop. So with this being a new pen, you're seeing it really well, hopefully. And what I need to do first of all is sew from my middle of my cross to the middle of my cross. And I'll turn you around to the same machine now. Hopefully you're going to see all this. You know, I normally use these tweezers and enders, but as these are going to be joined 1/4 inch to do Y seams, I don't need them at the moment. So let's put that down. Glossy. That's it. Line them up. Sink my needle down into the middle of the cross. Couple of stitches forward and back, and then 1/4 inch seam to the next one. And I'll do that again so you can see. I've only marked one of these pieces of fabric because that's all I'm needing at the moment. If I need to mark more, I'll mark more. Drop my needle, a couple of stitches, obviously if you've got a locking stitch you don't need to do that, but that's the 4 pieces, and there's 5 to this star, but so open it out and just lightly finger press out and lightly finger press. Now let's join one more to this one, and I'll show you where the Y seam comes into it. So we go from that across there, just line it all up because it's not, and you have to be quite fairly precise with Y seams. So the centre, drop my needle down, make sure this is lined up, which it is. Some people may not do this back and forward, I do. But as you go down to your next cross, you will see where you finished stitching. So I'm taking it one stitch at a time to land exactly on it. Back to the touch. So as you can see, they're not joined all the way to the end. So I'll join these two together now. I'll have to mark that one in a second. But do the same again, line your fabric up really well. And mine just does not want to do it today. Middle of the cross, drop your needle, lock stitch or back and forward. Now let's just get these out of the way, and we just want to take it to the middle of the cross to those previous stitches. So I'll go one stitch at a time. You can turn your hand wheel if you haven't got needle up, needle down. Back, out. And it's making a bit awkward, but we want 1/4 of an inch just on that one. Make sure that we've got it right. Hold it over. Line your fabrics up again. Now you can start from the middle, or you can start from the cross. So, can I see through the fabric, the middle of my cross? I can see it. You'd find it difficult, but because I marked the wrong one. Single stitch, and there we've got the 5-point star at the moment. Now I'm going to press this and do exactly the same, because I've got the majority of my points from my Y seams marked out. I've pressed all my seams going round. I think I may have done that wrong because I'm not sure if the air erasable one, if that's going to stay on. So I've marked them with chalk, but I've just realised I've marked the wrong side. Never mind. I should have marked the wrong side of the fabric because obviously the right side is going to be hidden because it will be the by the right side of the other fabric. But there they are on the wrong side now. So the next thing we have to do is right side of this fabric. It will be going there, so I'm going to take it. If you move this bottom one out of the way, then you can line your fabric up completely. You can see there it's all lined up. Take it to the machine, make sure that is out of the way because you don't want to stitch it down, but where your last stitch was for putting the star together, you want to drop your needle there. Now I have taken it all the way to the end, so I don't know why I actually press that, never mind. Now this other bit goes to this star leg, so line your fabrics up again. Take it to the machine and drop your needle where your last stitch was when you stitch the two star legs together. Couple of stitches back and to the end. And you will see that that is now there intact. I'll do these again. That's the piece that's going in there. So we get it lined up. Come out, you little devil. Right, line your fabrics up as best you can. Make sure that the other one is out of the way because you don't want to stitch it, and feel where your last stitch was and drop your needle there. And with going to the end, I've got a nice point to my star. So lay it out, see the next two pieces that need doing, turn it round, work around, get your pieces lined up, and sew from where you finish sewing the star legs together fabric up. All the way to the end. So I remembered this wrong. It's just marking the middle bits. Those are your Y seams. You don't need a Y seam at the top because they cover it nicely. You can see once it's pressed out how nice it'll be. And I'll finish these others up and then come back to you. There's the 5-point star, and I have done a circle that will fit because that's using this template and putting one edge on a fold line. And basically what I'm going to do now is the awkward bit. Yeah, what I've done is one of the points is going to be the top of the star, so I've got a crease where my middle of my white fabric was, so I'm going to just move that up to where the crease is, so it'll meet exactly the same. And I'm going to do that. I would do that all the way around, but it isn't working out. But I need, now where my middle bit is there, this, if I take the centre there, and that is the centre of the outer ring, pin that, and we want half of this circly thing, put a pin in there so we know that's the halfway point. We will get our fabric, and we know that this is the halfway point because there's a seam there, and we'll put that seam on the pin. That's where it needs to go, and I'll do the same on this other side. So there is my other halfway point. Find that seam and put that on. Now I've got it pinned in quarters, so I can start sewing it on. So I'll bring it to the sewing machine now. Hopefully you'll be able to see this all right. I'm not going to start at what will be the top. I'm going to start round here. So I think I'll find my pin. And I'll just put my foot down, that holds it for me. It's like having another hand. And drop my needle down, and then I can lift the foot and just slowly place it there. And you don't have to go fast around this at all. It's not a race. You just want to get it stitched on. That's all. If you haven't got a knee lift like me, you can lift up your foot, place where it's going to go, and put it down again. I'm spoilt with this now. But you're just making sure that the two edges of the fabric are meeting together where the needle is. That's all. And take that one out, lie the seam down, and we carry on. It can be a little fiddly. Well, it is fiddly. But that's what sewing circular things are, is fiddly. Oops. I think I've just sewed a fold in there. I'll check it out in a minute. There is now a square. Yes, I did sew in a fold. That is now the 5-point star, and it looks like I've stitched in little teeny folds. I might be able to press those out. If not, I can just unpick an inch and resew it. That's not a problem. So there are the two squares I've done. Like I said, I don't know what I'm going to be doing with them, so I'm just going to be putting them up there until I decide. So a lemon star and a 5-point star. Thank you. Bye.